Hello, everyone, and welcome back to First Available, the podcast where we talk all things disc golf every single Monday. It is February 19th, 2024, and I hope that I'm coming to you a little bit early in the day this time than what we did last week. If you missed last week's episode, I had my good buddy Ross Combs on. We talked about the tournament that we had just played that day, and we had a blast. Now, we had planned basically all week for him to call in through Microsoft Teams, and that's how we were going to do that episode, and we ran into some technical issues, so at the last moment we decided to just do it at my house. I threw together the table behind me where you watched that if you did watch, and I mic'd us up using my field microphones, which was nice because it would record his audio just to his microphone and only my audio to mine, and theoretically that's awesome. That'd make editing everything nice and easy on me. But come to find out, those microphones don't work too well in a small enclosed space that's not treated for sound. I should have known that, but apparently I overlooked it. So anyways, at the end of the day, it took me a long time to get that published because I had to spend hours editing the video, muting my microphone when he was speaking, muting his microphone when I was speaking, and trying to find a sweet spot if we were both speaking at the same time, which tend to happen more than what you realize when you're actually recording stuff. So anyways, all my own technical problems aside that I am working on, if you are watching, and you can always watch these episodes on Spotify in video format, you can see behind me I got a couple webcams there. If I move to the side a little bit, you can see another top of an orange pop filter because I have an actual microphone hooked up over there. So next time Ross comes on, or if I have anyone else on the episode, I can support now actually having real microphones to where I don't have to spend hours editing stuff. Another thing I forgot to mention about the whole editing process, my video editor, Vegas Pro, was driving me absolutely insane because it seems to be that every time you start getting to some like really intensive editing with it, like an hour and a half long video with a lot of transitions and stuff, it just absolutely crashes. It crashed on me, no joke, no less than 100 times, making just that one episode, and it was driving me nuts. But anyways, that's why I'm setting this up behind me to support more than just myself being on the show, so that whenever someone else like Ross comes on, it'll be nice and easy to post. Okay, that's enough about my technical problems. Let's move on to this week's topics. Real quick before we get into the juicy bits, if you didn't see it, I do have a new video that posted on Friday on my YouTube channel at Smith Disc Golf on YouTube. And it was about the new MVP disc that dropped, the highly anticipated Simon Lizotte line Pixel and the Eagle McMahon Rebirth Envy. So I'm not going to go into detail on that. If you're interested in seeing what I got and hearing about the discs themselves, you can head over to the YouTube channel. That video is available there. But I didn't really get a chance to throw it too much. I got those on Friday, and then the snowstorm rolled in like literally an hour after I picked mine up or so, and it snowed really bad, relatively bad enough to keep me from playing. I think we got probably about 3 to 4 inches. So Saturday morning it was miserable. It was windy. It was cold. There was, several inches of snow on the ground. So instead of playing, I went over to Wright State and I took a shovel and I went out there and shoveled. If you follow the YouTube channel, it's something I've been doing this year. I've been trying to keep the tee pads at Wright State clean. That way I have a place to play and everyone else in the area does. I kind of try to take care of that course a little bit just because it's so close to me, and I feel fortunate and lucky that I have such a nice course that I can play. It's literally 5 minutes down the road from me. The course has really grown on me too, because when I first played that a couple years ago, one, I was new. It's a really nice course. It's really grown on me. I don't want to go into huge detail. I actually am coming out with a video. I have recorded it. I just have to do all the editing and stuff, which is basically a course walkthrough for Wright State. But anyways, that's a long tangent on that. I went out and shoveled the tee pads there, both the longs and the shorts. And then I went over to Carroll over in Beaver Creek, and I shoveled the ones there because I figured that's a nice short course. And that's the one that me and Ross play the most. Generally, if we get out on like a lunch break or whatever, that's where we can go out and within an hour get around in real quick and easy. So I wanted to make sure those are both shoveled so we have options to play on, and hopefully others in the area can benefit from that as well. But I didn't really get to throw my own disc too much yesterday. So yeah, on Saturday, I didn't throw, I actually have this small book bag that holds like 5 discs, and I had that on my back when I was shoveling the tee pads at Carroll, and I threw my Binks, my Elevation Binks. This is the only disc I threw just because I wanted to make sure I didn't lose anything, and that disc is so easy to throw. I almost lost it 3 times. If you're familiar with the course, I'll run you through it real quick because it was really funny. I was just shoveling tee pads and like I had gloves on and everything. I wasn't even taking them off to throw. I was just throwing around. But I got out to hole 8 and it just turned over on me and it didn't go anywhere where I couldn't see it. It just, because of the angle it went into the snow, it went under. Probably took me about 10 minutes to find it there, so not a huge deal. And then I get over to hole 11, and my second shot, I went forehand with the binks, which I never do, and it went around a tree, and that tree blocked my line of sight, so I couldn't see where it went in. But it only took me like 30 seconds to find that one, even though it was completely buried, and I didn't see like an entry point for it. It was crazy. And then, lo and behold, I get to hole 18, and I realize my sunglasses are missing. So I start thinking about, I remember I took those off my eyes so I could see, ironically enough, and put them on my hat. So I started walking back through the course trying to, see, because they had blue lenses, but they had white frames, right? So I'm trying to find white sunglasses in the snow, and I basically had chalked it up like, those are gone. But I tried to find them, and I didn't. And then I come back to hole 18, shovel that tee pad, step up to take my last throw with my binks. Like, I'll just throw it nice and easy. And I did. I just threw it nice and easy, but it was super windy and the wind picked it up and it just jetted it over to the right, over by the fence. If you're local to the area, you know where I'm going with this. It didn't go over the fence, but it got within about 25 feet of it and it fell underneath the snow. And I didn't know. I thought that it may have hung up a little bit in the honeysuckles or something like that. But anyways, I spent 45 minutes looking for that disc on the last hole. Couldn't find it. So anyways, fast forward to today. I didn't go out this morning either, just again because of the weather and stuff and family plans. But I did go out in the late afternoon, about 4 o'clock. I said, I'll go play Carol, and that way I can see, if I just play it normal and see if I find my glasses, see if I find my disc. So I get to hole 10, and I look at the picnic table. There are my sunglasses. They're destroyed. Makes sense because I shoveled the long tee pad on 10, and I'm guessing that's where they probably fell off. They're white frame glasses. I'm sure someone accidentally stepped on them, put them on the picnic table. They're done, but they're gooder glasses, so I can replace them easily for $25. No problem there. I wasn't upset. I was really hoping I could find my binks. So I played the whole course, and again, I'm trying to play it kind of easy. The snow's pretty much melted, but I get to hole 18, and I throw just a kind of a layup off the tee pad just because I knew I wanted to go over to the right side and look for the binks. I didn't want to have to worry about coming back out and finding my disc. But as soon as I got over to the right side, it popped out right away. It had fallen down and fell underneath the snow, and the snow melted enough today to where I could see it. So at least I got my disc back. All right, but that's pretty much it, I think, for all the personal topics today, what's going on in the Dayton area. I want to try to cover some local things every time I do one of these episodes, just because I think probably most of the people that watch are from the area. But let's move on and talk some pro events. Again, with it being February 19th, I'm sure you are all aware it was All-Star Weekend. I did catch some of the footage. Now, on Friday, I was too busy wrapping up some stuff with work that I didn't get to watch any of the Skills Challenge stuff. But I did go back and watch the highlights, and then Saturday and Sunday, I did watch live some of the doubles and the majority of the solo event from Sunday. All right, so before I go in talking about the specifics about the event itself, just the All-Star event in general, I think it's honestly a really great way to open up the season. I love it. I think it gives the players a chance to kind of like warm up and have fun and not worry about the stress about competing. Yes, they're all trying to play great. They're all trying to win, I'm sure. But it just gives them a chance to get out there in a more friendly environment and have some fun. It's kind of weird. Me and Ross were talking about like it being at the beginning of the season. It's kind of abnormal, like what is it? NBA, middle of the season, baseball, middle of the season. I used to love hockey, and I don't like hockey any less now. Just I don't have the bandwidth to watch it anymore. So I think theirs is middle of the season as well, and then Pro Bowl at the NFL end of the year. Now, I would say if I had to rank these different All-Stars, I would have always said that the Pro Bowl was the worst one. I couldn't stand watching the Pro Bowl. Now, I will say this year I was at Frickers a couple weeks ago when the Pro Bowl happened, so it just happened to be on TV, and I watched it, the flag football and the skills challenges. I was actually enjoying it. I was having fun watching that, so not so bad. I would probably at this point have to put baseball at the lowest just because I don't like baseball. I don't like pro baseball. I'm sorry to anyone that does. It's just too slow and too boring for me. I like going to baseball games in person. That's a blast. Watching on TV, can't do it. They have too many games. Too much. I'm not going to turn this into a baseball rant. I already did, but we're going to move on. So after baseball, I would probably put the Pro Bowl next still. I would say the NBA was one of the best ones for the long time. I don't know. That one's kind of getting... all these sports are less entertaining to me the more I get into disc golf anyway. So let's just move on past all that. Lo and behold, what I'm trying to get to here is that I think that disc golf has the best All-Star weekend. It was fun. The skills challenges were fun. Again, even though I didn't get to watch them live, I did go back and watch the highlight, which thank you, DGN, for putting together a highlight video of that. That made it nice and simple for me to do the research for this. So I enjoyed that. And then watching the actual doubles. I love watching doubles. I wish there would be more doubles events during the year. Maybe 1 or 2 more actual double events would be sweet for the Pro Tour. I don't know how that would factor into points and all that. I don't think it'd be able to, but just to watch it for fun would be awesome. And then watching this, the FPO and MPO today was a lot of fun as well. All right, so hopping right into the skills challenges. First off, for the FPO, the distance competition, Ellie Ezra Middling throws 503 feet, which is absolutely insane. I believe she is about 17 years old. She plays out of Jacksonville, Florida, which I actually saw. There's another player in Jacksonville, Florida, a young female about the same age, I believe, Trinity Bryant, that pops up on Instagram. I try to follow my local courses or my local players as much as I can here in Dayton and then Jacksonville. I go to Jacksonville, Florida 3 or 4 times a year. I used to live there, for anyone that doesn't know, for 15 years. So some of these players pop up on my feed, and I try to follow that. But awesome watching Ellie Ezra just smash 503 feet is insane. Heading over to the MPO side of things, Anthony Barella, which I don't think is a surprise to anyone, has an absolute cannon of an arm, throws 705 and 713 feet to win the MPO side of the driving contest. That's just absolutely nuts. I love watching AB. I really hope that he has a really strong year this year. And then moving over to the accuracy side of things, that's a competition that I wouldn't have thought I would enjoy as much as I did. Jessica Weiss took down Allie Smith in the finals. And then Chris Dickerson, who is somehow underrated, which is a bad term to some people, because some people think that underrated means that you say someone maybe isn't as good as they are, or vice versa. Underrated just means, like, even if you consider him to be one of the best in the game, which he proves every year, he wins tournaments every year, he still doesn't get enough talking about. Like, I don't know, his form or something, the way he throws it seems weird, but it's always accurate, and he always has like good straight golf shot type shots on it too. It's weird. But anyways, he just absolutely destroyed it in the accuracy contest. It was awesome to watch. I honestly had a lot of fun watching that. And then finally heading over to the putting contest, Owen Scoggins is a damn machine gun. She was just stepping up and just fire, putter after putter after putter, just dead chains. I think in the final round at the final station, she missed 1 or something like that. It was ridiculous. Owen Scoggins, I wish I could putt like Owen. And then Andrew Marweed and James Proctor put on a pretty good show on the MPO side of things. Marweed ended up running away with that. I don't think that's a huge surprise there. The guy's a great putter. James Proctor, great putter as well. But all in all, recapping the entire skills challenge side of things, I thought it was a lot of fun. I remember when the NHL did that, back when I did kind of watch NHL more regularly. Watching the skills challenges was one of the favorite things I watched during the All-Star weekend. So moving out of the actual skills contest into the play, let's talk about the FPO teams real quick. So they did it like draft style, which I really liked, where they picked team captains and then the team captains draft from the available all-star players. So the first team was Missy Gannon as the team captain. She had Holland Hanley, Ella Hansen, Katrina Allen, Sarah Hokum, and Allie Smith. So pretty strong lineup. And then the second team was Owen Scoggins, team captain, Kat Murch, Haley King, Macy Valadiaz, Jessica Weiss, and Henna Blomroos. Good team as well. Obviously, a name missing from this list is Kristen Tatar. She was selected as an all-star, but she declined. Not sure of the exact reason. I'm sure it's probably a scheduling type deal like that. I don't think she's dealing with any injury, or there's no other reason. She probably just has other stuff going on. But just looking at those two teams, I tried to pick like which team I would root for, and out of that, I would go for Team Missy, and they did end up winning. But I was rooting for Team Missy. They have Holland Hanley, who is just an absolute monster of a player. I really expect that she's going to have a great year this year. I mean, you got some names in there like Katrina Allen, Sarah Hokum they bring the experience. Obviously, Missy Gannon herself, Ella Hansen can bomb. All around strong team. Team Own. I mean, Own Scoggins automatic from the putting field, and she has good forearm and all those things. I mean, it's all star. Like both teams are great. I felt like Team Missy had the better team, and personally, I wanted to root for Holland, and I wanted to root for Sarah Hokum. Obviously, with me being an MVP fan. So Team Missy did take that win. And then if we move over to the MPO side of things, again, same format. You had Team Calvin, with Calvin Heimberg being the team captain, Ricky Wysocki, Anthony Barella, Matt Oram, James Proctor, and Chris Dickerson. So great team there against Team Isaac Robinson, Gannon Burr, Kyle Klein, Cole Redallen, Ezra Robinson, and Aaron Gossage. And again, same situation. We're missing Simon Lizotte and Eagle McMahon. Obviously, Eagle, coming off the injury, declined to play. And then Simon Lizotte, I'm not sure the exact reason why, but I would have really liked to have seen Simon in there. And again, with these two teams, I found myself rooting for Team Calvin. Calvin Heimberg's one of my favorite players for someone that doesn't throw MVP. Ricky Wysocki obviously is good. Anthony Barella, I'm really hoping Anthony Barella is like equivalent to my Holland Hanley kind of. Like those are the two players from MPO, FPO that I'm really hoping have a great year, start getting some wins underneath their belt on the Pro Tour. And then James Proctor is one of my favorite. I love TSA Disc. I just watched his In the Bag the other day. And then the other side of things, Isaac Robinson, Gannon Burr, Kyle Klein. That might be future of Discmania right there. I know, obviously Isaac Robinson's prodigy right now. Final year of his contract, we'll see what happens. But then Cole Redallen. This is a young team. Isaac Robinson, Gannon Burr, Kyle Klein, Cole Redallen. I don't know their ages, but I'm guessing they are all under 25. So really young team. I need to confirm that, but that would be my guess. And then Ezra Robinson. I keep thinking that was Ezra Adelhold for some reason. Ezra Robinson. Watching the doubles tournament with Ezra and Isaac was a lot of fun. All the cards were a lot of fun on that, but just specifically watching those two brothers play was a lot of fun for some reason. But at the end of things, Team Calvin did fall to Team Isaac. It was a messy weekend. The skills challenge Friday, the weather seemed like it was just fine. And then Saturday and Sunday, it was an absolute mess. I don't want to do too many takeaways about how players play. Like I saw Ricky struggling a lot today, and I don't think that was Ricky. I think that was the conditions of the course. He just was one of the players that got bit by it. I didn't get to see much of Katrina Allen actually playing out in the field, but I did see her take like a +9, I think, on something. She either took a 9 or a +9. Whatever it was, I'm going to say that it's probably the same thing. It's probably not Katrina's play. It's probably just, when the conditions get to be that bad, someone's going to get bit. And those were the two players that I noticed that got bit. So I don't think there's anything else much to talk about as far as the All-Star weekend. When they picked 12 MPO and 12 FPO players, I think that's about the right number. I was thinking, 10 each, so 12 each, yeah. A lot of young names. There were some names on here that were here last year. Calvin Heimberg, Ricky. Ricky didn't play last year due to he was dealing with his Lyme injury coming off the previous off season, but he was selected last year if I'm not mistaken. But seeing like James Proctor, I think even Anthony Barella was new for the All-Star this year. Let's see, I believe Gannon Burr and Kyle Klein were there last year. Isaac Robinson, which should have been there last year. Cole Redallen, young talent. Really keep an eye out for Cole Redallen. Obviously, he won. What did he win this previous year? It wasn't Idlewild, I don't think. He won a Pro Tour event this previous season, but I would expect he's going to be a name that you need to be familiar with going forward. And then a lot of the FPO players are returns from previous years. Missy Gannon, Ella Hansen, Katrina Allen, Sarah Hokum, Owen Scoggins, Kat Murch. I don't remember if Haley King was. Henna Blomroos was actually the replacement player that got pulled up to take over Kristen Tatar's spot, and she was throwing lights out this morning. Today, this morning. I'm recording this late at night, Sunday evening. But yeah, I caught some shots from Henna Blomroos. I think she actually hit an ace. I think it was a blind ace too, a skip blind ace. So anyways, I personally thought that as far as the content, the doubles, the solo, and all the skills challenges, I thought it was a blast. I love it. I hope they keep doing it that way. Obviously, they can always try to expand on it, make things better, but I like the format of having the skills challenge and having the draft style all-star event. So awesome stuff there. Was really happy to get some pro disc golf in my life because I've been missing it. And then moving on to the elephant in the room on how I watched all of this great content. I'm sure that if you follow anything online, social media, you've seen it pop up. Disc Golf Network announces the 2024 live media plan. So for anyone that isn't aware yet, Disc Golf Network used to have a pretty basic subscription. Either you pay for it or you don't. And they've moved to this tier system to where they basically have like a basic, a standard, and a pro package. So you can put that whatever metaphor you want. It could be your bronze, silver, gold package, whatever. But we're going to dive into this topic because I have some pretty strong opinions about this. All right, so real quick before I start giving my thoughts and opinions on this and all my take, let's actually read through. I'll pull it up on the screen here, and you guys can read along with me if you're watching, but I'll read this for anyone that's just listening in. This is the Disc Golf Network announces the 2024 live media plan. So just hop right into this. So for immediate release, February 13th, 2024, the Disc Golf Network, DGN, is excited to announce its live media plan for the 2024 season, which will feature several new upgraded functionalities thanks to DGN's recent migration to the NSYS video technologies as the network's primary technology service provider and an enhanced partnership with Amazon Web Services. That is a mouthful. At the forefront of the new functionalities provided by NSYS VT is the chance for Disc Golf Network to offer disc golf fans the opportunity to choose from multiple subscription plans. So this is where we're talking about before either you were subscribed or you weren't. Now it's you were subscribed at, 1 level, 2 level, or level 3. Beginning today, so let's pause right there. You're introducing a new subscription model, not just the model, but the actual technology that backs this model up beginning today, which to me I said I was going to read this whole thing and then give you my thoughts on it. Let's finish, give them a chance to say their piece, and then I'll say mine. Beginning today, the Disc Golf Network will offer 3 subscription packages: DGN Basic, DGN Standard, and DGN Pro. Okay, I had to make sure I read that right. Each subscription package offers different content offerings, features, and additional benefits for those who opt for the yearly payment option. However, all subscription plans will have access to upgraded platform features. So basically, that's just saying that there's a difference between paying monthly and paying yearly, no matter which level of subscription you're on. All packages will feature newly updated live DVR functionality on all devices, pause and rewind. Basically, so you can pause and you can rewind now, which that is a great feature. All packages feature newly updated live DVR functionality on all devices, which gives you the ability to pause and rewind. All packages will feature upgraded 60 frame per second streaming. Instantaneous playback video on demand access will be available for all subscribers after a round ends. So the moment the round ends, you can go back and watch any of it. DGN Standard and DGN Pro subscribers will get full access to all DGPT Europe live broadcasts. All current DGN subscribers as of February 12th will have access to DGN Standard and may upgrade or downgrade to different tiers if they wish. The base price of DGN Standard subscription will remain the same for 2024, so that's a good plus at least. All right, so hopping into the subscription package offerings, full details on the content inclusions of each package and additional benefits and features can be referenced in the Disc Golf Network's plans and prices page. But all interested fans should be aware of the following details. So basically they're saying, if you don't want to read the fine print, here are the head notes. DGN Pro subscribers will get exclusive access to the European Open and the US Disc Golf Championship. DGN Basic and Standard subscribers will be able to easily upgrade their accounts to DGN Pro to watch these events if they wish. DGN Standard subscribers will have complete access to all other PDGA Pro major events, and DGN Basic will have access to select coverage. So, kind of breaking that down a little bit more, if you're basically, you have to have the pro level if you want to watch the European Open or the USDGC. If you're just a standard member, you will get access to all the major events. If you're a basic member, you're going to get, a little bit of coverage here and there as far as the majors go. So they're really trying to make sure that you have to, somehow not have that base level if you want to watch the major events. DGN Pro subscribers will get access to ad-free live broadcasts during the first round all season long. Which I don't understand. You're paying for the highest tier and you get ad-free for the first round. How are you getting ad-free? I'm confused by that. Let's bookmark that and come back to that. DGN's Tournament Central pregame and halftime shows will be available for all subscribers, and Pro subscribers will also get access to the postgame shows. Pro subscribers will also get exclusive access to Tournament Central bonus programming throughout the season, on the weekends, and blah, 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 role-playing crap. All right, subscribers who opt for the yearly payment options for DGN Standard or DGN Pro packages will gain additional discounts and benefits. Subscribers who opt for the yearly option of Standard or Pro will receive a 20% discount for the Jomez Pro Shop and DGPT Pro Shop, plus a 10% discount on DGPT tickets. Pro subscribers who opt for the yearly option will also receive 2 free general admission tickets to a DGPT event of their choice. So, talking about that real quick, 2 free general admission tickets to a Pro Tour event of their choice. Is that truly the case? I have questions, Disc Golf Network. 1, is it any DGPT event? Can I go to Worlds? And 2, are those tickets for one day of the event or for the whole event? I'm guessing, first off, that your tickets are for one day. There's no way they're giving you tickets to like 4 days, of a elite series or 5 days of a major. And 2, I'm pretty sure they're going to have some blackout dates that you don't get to choose events from. I can't see that. And I can't find anywhere. I've tried. Maybe it's below here. I don't know. Let's keep moving on. The number of registered devices and simultaneous playbacks allowed will differ from each one. So we'll find that out as we're looking through these different tiers. Pricing and PDGA membership discounts. Disc Golf Network is pleased to continue offering deep discounts on its subscription offerings to current PDGA members as part of their membership benefit package. PDGA members can now choose from a variety of monthly and yearly options, but must pair their DGN and PDGA accounts to take advantage of the discounted subscription pricing. Additionally, current PDGA members can gain free access to DGN Basic as part of their membership. So that makes sense. All right, so hopping here on the screen, if you're not watching, you're just listening in, they're showing basically a high-level difference between Basic, Standard, and Pro. So as far as the prices go, looking at the monthly subscription for Basic, $5.99, free if you're a PDGA member. Moving up to Standard, it's $12.99 a month, or $5.99 if you're a PDGA member. And then moving up to Pro, $19.99 per month, or $12.99 per month if you're a PDGA member. And then just breaking down the yearly cost real quick, if you decide that you want to do the yearly subscription, for Basic, you're looking at $59.99 a year, or free if you're a PDGA member. For the Standard, $129.99, or $69.99 if you're a PDGA member. And finally, the Pro, $239.99 a year, or $140 a year if you're a PDGA member. So, with that being considered, I would highly recommend that you don't pay the $240. It doesn't make any sense mathematically for you to pay $240 when you could instead spend $50 on a PDGA membership and then get the yearly price for this at $140. You're saving $50 by spending $50 over at PDGA. So yeah, a lot to break down here. The Disc Golf Pro Tour season will kick off with the 2024 All-Star Weekend, February 16th to 18th, which obviously we just talked about. The regular season will begin the following February 23rd through 25th with the Chess.com Invitational presented by Discraft. As previously announced, so here's an asterisk. As previously announced, silver events in Europe this year will not have live coverage, but all DGPT events, Elite Series, will have live coverage, including 5 in Europe. These events have post-produced coverage. All right, and then finally here, if you're watching along again, I'll read this out loud the best I can for anyone that's just listening in. But this is the absolute catastrophe of a PowerPoint presentation that DGN put out to try to explain to people the differences between their tier system. So on the screen, we have basically a column for the DGN basic features, the standard features, and the pro features. So we already went over the prices. Not going to go over those again. Live tournament coverage. You basically get the first round with basic, which no one is caring about. Unless you're getting basic for free by being a PDGA member, I don't see anyone going out of pocket and signing up for basic just so they can watch the first round of these events. Standard members get full coverage of all Pro Tour events and pro majors, excluding the European Open and USDGC. So if you're paying $130 a year, you do not get to watch 2 of the biggest events of the year. And then moving over to pro, you get everything. Live bonus coverage, don't care about that. Why put this on here? Live pause and rewind, instant rewatch. It makes no sense. They all get it. You don't need to put it on here. Tournament Central. There's just so much in here I do not care about. Like, again, right here, upgraded stream quality. Well, if you're a base member, you get 1080-60. If you're a standard member, you get 1080-60. But if you're a pro member, you get 1080-60. Jomez extra content, don't care. Post-pro, so much of this I don't care. So here's why I have questions. Ad-free live coverage, round 1 coverage only. If you sign up for the pro, you get ad-free live coverage. How? I don't get it. All right, and then here are the discounts. 20% off the DGPT Pro Shop and Jomez Shop if you're a standard or pro member. 10% off tickets if you are a standard or pro member. 2 free general admission tickets to a Pro Tour event if you're a pro member. These are all yearly bonuses. All right, so turning that off and talking about it again real quick. I will say that when I saw this screen last week, I went on an instant rant about the prices, because one thing that bothers me is that when you have a monthly versus yearly subscription plan for anything or any kind of price, basically when you buy in bulk, you're supposed to save, right? And originally I had seen that the prices for the Pro was more expensive per year, albeit only by a few cents. $240 basically if you pay up front for a year versus the $20 per month. But if you take that penny off per $19.99, you would end up spending like 12 cents more paying yearly, or 11 cents more, something like that. It was negligible, but like I didn't see the discount. I overlooked where you get the yearly subscription benefits. So that makes sense now. You get those tickets, you get 20% off in, whatever shops, if you care about any of that stuff. The only thing that would make me sign up for a yearly subscription would be the 2 free general admission tickets to a DGPT event. And then I'm not doing that for that reason, because until I hear otherwise, I'm going to assume that's one day. I'm not forking over all that money to you up front so that I can get tickets to one day's event. The other part I was complaining about, the ad-free live coverage. If you're a pro member, regardless if it's yearly or monthly, you get the ad-free live coverage for round 1 only. One, how are you doing ad-free? If you're showing ads to other people, what am I seeing during that time? Just more commentary? Like, I don't care. If I'm seeing actual coverage, actual footage of people playing in that time that I otherwise wouldn't have seen, cool, I'm on board with that. But here's the problem. Round 1 only. 90% of your people, a number I just completely made up, are not watching round 1. Most people don't watch round 1. That's my belief. I personally, round 1 is the one I don't really watch. It's usually on Friday or even earlier in the week when I got other stuff to do. I'm watching Saturday and Sunday. Give me something for that. Give me something on Saturday and Sunday. So my biggest gripe about this, and I try to compare this like we talked about last week's episode with the UDisc and PDGA live scoring. So many people complain about UDisc because they've increased prices over the last year. And I've gone to bat in UDisc's favor for that because I understand the cost increase. They are constantly adding new features. I play every single day. So every single day, they are hosting more of my data. It would be different if they said, we only keep 6 months of data once, or a year, whatever arbitrary number you want to come up with. If they said that, hey, after so much time, we don't keep your data, then I would be a little bit more upset about that. But if they're hosting my entire history and they're constantly adding new features and improving stuff, it makes sense that UDisc has to increase their costs. There's a cost associated with that work. With DGN, I think they're doing the opposite approach. I think they're putting the cart ahead of the horse because they have been notorious for having non-reliable streams. Now, my personal experience, I don't have too many issues with it in previous years. I do recall last year there were some events that were going on like in the Tennessee area and stuff like that when they did like the Music City Open, some of those other ones that got out into like the wilderness outside of the city, especially on the last day of the MPO coverage, the one that everyone's watching. There would be Pixelation. I remember very vividly, I was about to say seeing this, but I didn't really see it. I heard Terry Miller, one of the announcers, say, and look at what a shot, look at that shot. And I looked over at my screen and it was all pixelated. And I wasn't paying too much attention in the first place. I was busy doing something else. So it didn't bother me, but I made a little meme and put it on one of the Facebook groups about it, about, the announcer saying, look at that shot. And then the shot was just a pixelated. You couldn't see anything. And I only did it because it was funny to me. I wasn't upset because DGN was a very cheap thing that I paid for. I already had my discount by being a PDGA member. So it didn't bother me. I was never really bothered by that, but I did understand. And I saw where some people, they were bothered by it. To some people, and I understand this, that it doesn't matter if you're paying $100 or if you're paying 10 cents. Like if you're paying for something, you want it to work. That's a very valid opinion to have. And to see some of these other people online, like shutting those people down and saying that, maybe it's your internet service provider, maybe it's your cell phone, maybe, absolutely. You're going to have those scenarios where it could be the person's technology, not the actual provider. I don't think that's the case here. So to give you my own example, when I saw some of that going on last year, when I was getting some pixelated coverage on last day of MPO coverage, I would pull up Red Zone, NFL Red Zone on my screen right next to it, and I would stream side by side. Now, I'm a tech nerd. I'm a computer programmer. I got my degree in computer science. Obviously, I'm doing this stuff right here. Tech is what I do. So I would stream NFL Network. I would stream Red Zone. I would stream Netflix. I'd stream YouTube. I would do all these tests side by side, and I would look. And DGN was the only one that was pixelated. It was the only one causing me a problem. So I know the issue is DGN. It's not my internet service provider. It's not my computer. It's not my bandwidth. It's DGN. So last week when I initially saw this whole new structure be announced, that was the first thought that I had was, oh crap. If you're going to increase costs, now I have concerns. Because while I was okay having a little spotty coverage here and there at the cheaper price, now you're charging $20 a month is on par with like Netflix, Disney Plus, all these other streaming services that are offering much, much more than just disc golf content. And let's be real, for my purposes, and I would say for the majority of people's purposes, when you sign up for DGN, I would say the vast majority of us want live coverage. All the Tournament Central, all this extra bonus stuff, like me personally, don't care, not going to watch it. If you told me I could get everything else off DGN, but no live coverage for $1 a month, for $1 a year, I wouldn't sign up for it because I don't care. I can get on YouTube. And now I'm talking personal preference. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that would be a great deal for you guys. For me, what I'm saying is that when I pay for DGN, I pay for it so that when I'm eating lunch or if I'm out and about, whatever I'm doing on Saturday and Sunday throughout the year, it is worth it for me to be able to watch disc golf live tournament coverage. That's what I want. Now, under this new subscription model, I'd be more than happy to pay the $20 a month, basically, or $140 a year, along with my PD. I will say, let me pause real quick, because let's treat fair as fair here. I do love how they pair up with PDGA. You get that discount. It makes it worth it to me in years past where I wasn't competing in tournaments to still sign up for PDGA, because at least I would get the discount for DGN. So I do like that. $140 a year, I think, is worth it for DGN Pro, for everything that you get here, so long as it works. So let's talk about, does it work? We just talked about all the scenarios where it would pixelate during MPO final round coverage, which is the most important coverage. I don't care what people say. That's obviously why it doesn't work there, is because that's when most people are using it. All technology is occasionally going to have a problem. Occasionally is not the issue. It's when it's constantly, every single Sunday, that there's a pro tournament on the MPO final round. If it's pixelated, I'm going to be upset. And a lot of us are going to be upset. And I know there's some people out there online that they instantly want to jump to the corporation's defense. And for the life of me, it doesn't make sense why you would do that. Maybe you honestly think that it really is just the end user's internet service provider or their equipment. Let me break this down to you the best analogy that I can. And this is, I've done this for years when I try to explain like bandwidth and stuff to people. Is imagine that you and 9 of your friends, right? So 10 of you total, you're going on a vacation across the country and you're going to drive, right? So you stop over at John's house in your Honda Civic and you pick him up. You got 2 people in your car. Then you go to Sally's, pick her up. Now you're up to 3. Then you go over to Dave's house. I'm just making names up. Go over to Dave's house, pick him up. Now you got 4 people in that Honda Civic. It's pretty full. You could try to fit a 5th in there if you want. It's not going to be a comfortable drive all the way across the country. It's probably going to start lagging a little bit. You say at that point, I can't pick up anyone else. We got 5 people in this car. These other 5 people, I can't pick them up. It's just not possible, right? So you drive across the country. These other 5 people, they're left stranded. Now, from their perspective, they feel like they got screwed over, right? They were supposed to be on this vacation. There was no room for them in the vacation. However, from the perspective of everyone in the car, everything's fine. Everything's working. They're in the car. They're moving across the country. They don't notice an issue. It doesn't mean that there isn't an issue there. There is not enough bandwidth. There is not enough room for everyone to get what they paid for. Now, again, I probably should have specified at the beginning of that analogy that maybe everyone had to chip in, $50 for that ride across the country. Because if it were just a free ride, you may not care so much. You know what? Those 5 people, they went on without us, but I'm not out any money, so not that big of a deal. Or if it's, hey, I paid $140 to go on this vacation, and John picked up like 3 or 4 of the people and just like left us other 5 stranded, you're going to be upset. So hopefully that analogy makes sense. If it doesn't, I can't help you. That's the way my crazy mind works. All right, so talking about whether or not it works or not, I talked about the pixelations that I had last year, all the build up here. So let's fast forward to today. Like I said, with the weather at the beginning of this episode, I said, I didn't go out and play my normal morning round that we play on Sunday mornings because the weather was bad. I didn't want to force myself to go out when it was cold. I figured I'd go out in the afternoon. But at the same time, I knew I needed to record this episode and I wanted to be prepared for it. So during the day, I was watching the FPO coverage and then I was watching the MPO coverage, having a blast. But when I first turned it on, and I use Vivaldi, if I turn this on here on my screen to show you, can't really tell, but this browser that I use is Vivaldi. I absolutely love it. It's a Chrome-based browser. It's not some unknown browser. If you're in the tech industry, most people know about it. But it's just a Chrome-based browser. And the moment I logged into DGN for the first time, and I hit play on the FPO coverage, it popped up and gave me a red error. I can actually tell you exactly what the error is because I have it. So it popped up this red thing across the screen. You can't see it there because I'm not sharing the screen, but it popped up a red error message that said, sorry, we cannot activate the video because there was a problem while loading. Try to activate the content later. And then it had 3155 in parenthesis, which is the error code. So I tried logging in like 3 times, or not logging in. I logged in just fine. I tried loading the video like 3 times that way. And then I realized, okay, well, let's do our basic troubleshooting here. I opened up my Brave browser, which is just another Chrome-based browser, logged in, hit play, worked right away. So I was like, okay, maybe Vivaldi for whatever odd reason, just doesn't play well with DGN. I didn't use Vivaldi prior to this year. I just kind of switched over to that when I started doing all this channel stuff. So it's fine. That could have been on my end. But then I'm watching it. I watch all the FPO coverage. Everything was pretty smooth, no issues. When NPO time came up, I opened up Brave and I went to, log in, hit play. I got that same red message this time on Brave, which was weird. So I just closed out the Brave browser, reloaded it. It worked, right? So, and I know a lot of people right now saying like, it's not that big of a deal. You resolved it. Shouldn't have to do those things. I'm saying when you call something pro, shouldn't have to do those things. But I'm just trying to show you, like right off the bat, the first day of this whole new setup running into issues. Now, I checked on Facebook and I saw a lot of people locally here that I guess on Xbox and on like Fire Stick and like trying to do a screen mirror, like none of these things were working for a lot of people. And then I saw other people in the comments saying, well, it works just fine for me, so it's you and you're dumb. I just showed you. Clear example. So we're halfway through the NPO today, and my wife comes home, and I noticed there was enough time for me to go out to Carroll Park and get around in, because I'm trying to get around basically every day that I can. And I figure I'll grab my cell phone. I got DGN on there from last season. Hop in the truck, and I'm driving, and I get logged in. I had to update the app, go to log in, no problem. And I go to hit play on the NPO thing, which the NPO thumbnail was there. There was no play button on it. I tap. I kept tapping it. Wouldn't do anything. I just updated the DGN app, and I can go to the event. There is no play button. I sit here and click it or push on it. Nothing. Just won't play. Just won't play anything. No error, no nothing. Just won't play. Closed the application, closed all applications on my phone, reloaded the application, logged in, same exact thing. Okay, let me restart the phone completely. I restarted the phone completely, complete shutdown, not just a restart. Shut it down, powered it up, got everything back up and going, went into DGN, clicked on the thumbnail. It didn't have any kind of indication that it would do anything. So it's like, okay, this isn't working. All right, let me check just opening up Chrome on my phone. I opened up Chrome, went to DGN, logged in, hit play, worked fine. So these are the kind of things I'm saying are going to be very frustrating. So for me, a person that works, and I've been in the tech field, I've been with my company now since 2010. So I've been there for almost 14 years now, plus the 2 years of college prior to that, plus the, all this. I've been in the tech industry basically my entire adult life. This is frustrating. So trying to empathize with the people that maybe aren't so tech savvy, it's going to be super frustrating for them. And then when you're asking for someone to fork over, $240 or essentially $190 a month, because that's what it comes down to. If you're paying $240 straight up for the pro level event or pro level service, or if you're paying the $140 plus $50 for PDGA membership, it's a lot of money. And again, when you look at Netflix, you look at Disney Plus, you look at whatever else. I mean, YouTube's free, so that's not really a good example. But Netflix, Disney Plus, what other ones do we use? Those are the two main ones. I think we have Paramount Plus. So I think my closing thoughts on the whole DGN thing, I started playing disc golf in Father's Day, the summer of 2021 on Father's Day weekend. And then I signed up for DGN during the MVP Open that same year. So that was like 2 or 3 months later. And I've been signed up ever since. I've never questioned. I've never been like, I don't really feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of that. I love being able to just open up my phone and boom, watch some disc golf. I love, laying down in the bed and my Roku TV has the DGN app on it. Like, it's nice and simple and easy for me. And if it works, the $240, that's not what I'll be paying. I'll be doing the $140. But basically the $13 a month for the pro level service is worth it to me as long as it works. If it's choppy all the time, and especially on the last round of NPO on Sunday, that's going to start getting sketchy. There'll be a few events in a row, like, oh, that's the third week in a row, and I'm going to be done. So until they fix it. So let's all hope collectively for the best, because if any of us are hoping that this crashes and burns, I don't think that benefits anyone. I would rather it just improve and actually deliver what you're paying for, and then I'll be happy paying for that service. All right, but I think that will pretty much wrap up this week's episode, because if you let me, I'll sit here and rant about this stuff. I'm kind of passionate about it because I love disc golf and I love tech, and when these two fields cross over one another, I like it when they play nice, and when they don't, I will sit here and yap about it all day long. But I'm going to let you guys off the hook. As always, I do greatly appreciate everyone joining in. This channel and the podcast and everything's been going really great. Subscribers are coming in. It's growing faster than I had anticipated, and I owe that all to you. So huge thank you to everyone that joins in and follows along in these things. If you wouldn't mind, if you're listening or watching on the YouTube platform, always hit that little like button. That'll help us grow even faster. And I will see you all in the next one.